Rest in the knowing and act in the assumption. Rest in the knowing and act in the assumption. That's your whole manifestation, identity reset, rewiring your subconscious in 2 sentences. Rest in the knowing and act in the assumption. When my mentor told me this, I thought, that seems easy. Just like you're probably hearing it right now. That seems easy. Rest in the knowing and act in the assumption. Now, if I asked you, when you go to the bathroom or you go into your kitchen sink and you're turning on the cold tap for cold water, do you know that it's going to be cold water, or do you believe that it's going to be cold water? Do you know that it's going to be cold water, or do you believe that it's going to be cold water? Because this is when you start realizing how different knowing and believing are. You see, majority of people say they believe in God, or they believe in this and they believe in that. But when you know, you don't think about it. Because when you're walking towards that cold tap, you know that it's going to be cold water coming out of it. You don't think, oh, I need to actually do something in order to get the cold working. I need to believe in order for this to happen. You don't question it. You don't think about it. You don't overthink it. You don't do anything about it. You just walk towards it. You put the cold water on, and cold water is going to come out. That's when you know something's going to happen. When you start realizing the things that I'm trying to say, it will completely change your life, because you will start understanding the massive difference of what believing and knowing is. Because when you know something, you don't sit there thinking about it. You don't want it. You don't need it. You don't crave it. You don't ask for it. It happens. It's just there, right? When you go to your car and you put the ignition on, you don't sit there overthinking it. Unless you got a bad car. You don't sit in the seat thinking, oh, I hope this comes in. I hope this comes on. I hope this turns on. I hope this turns on. Like I said, unless it's a bad car. You know it's going to turn on. So when my mentor was telling me, rest in the knowing, do you know how many times I thought about this? And I thought, what is she talking about? How is this going to change my life? At that point, I wanted a certain figure every month, right? And all I was doing, like, no disrespect to any community, is like the Neville Goddard community, for example. Just think about it. You have to act and assume that it's yours, which is fine, because that's the next bit, right? Acting the assumption, because Neville has changed my life. But the problem is that it doesn't give you much more flavor in terms of receiving, because all I was doing at that point was just thinking about it. Acting like, oh yeah, it's here, visualizing, doing this, doing that. Oh, I've got this figure every month and it's coming and I know it's coming. But the problem is that it didn't come. And what happens when something doesn't come? You think, why? You start overthinking. Why haven't I received it? Is there something wrong with me? Why can't I do it and other people are? Why is it easy for other people? Why am I the person who isn't able to receive what I want? You see what's happening here? I was believing that I could receive something, but I didn't know it. I didn't know for certain that was going to happen. I believed it because I knew that I was capable of it, but I didn't know that it was coming. You see the difference here? The massive differences in believing and knowing, right? And the second part is you act in the assumption. You act in the assumption that it's already done because you know it's coming. So then you have to act the part of the person who has already received it. You following me? You rest in the knowing and you act in the assumption. I know that I'm going to be able to hit 100K this month. At the end of the month, I know that 100K is going to be mine. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to I don't need to overthink it. I don't need to question it. I don't need to do any, it doesn't even need to come into my mind. All I need to do is act in the assumption that it's already done. So if it has already done, let's take it reverse. The 100K is already mine. What did I do in order for me to be able to receive that 100K? And who was I the person whilst acting in the assumption of receiving that 100K? What did I do to be able to get there? What kind of person was I? What was I thinking on a daily basis? What questions was I asking? What was I doing from morning to the evening? How was I conducting myself? What thoughts did I have in my mind? What did I think that was true and wasn't? Do you see what I'm doing here? The people who watch this video, if you're taking notes down and you're watching this right now, this video alone will change how you do things on a daily basis. I promise you, this video is going to get you more results than the hour-long knowledge type of videos. And when I talk about knowledge, I'm talking about, how things work, why things are like that, and all. You can watch all of those, but things won't change. I've done hundreds of thousands of watching, reading, etc. These 2 sentences changed my life. And I know it will change yours because this is now what I'm doing with my own clients. Now, let me tell you the problem that people have with resting in the knowing and acting the assumption. So, you have unconscious beliefs, you have fears, you have inabilities, you have beliefs, you have so many things that you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis. For example, some people will say, I don't look good in this dress. I don't look good in that suit. I don't like my smile. I don't like my hair. I don't like my gray hairs. I don't like this and I don't like that about me. Or I don't like this. I don't like the way that I talk. I don't like how I look on videos and I don't like how I sound on videos, right? Every time you're saying those things, you are rewiring your own belief system and your own physiology and your own biology. So every single time you're saying those things, you are rewiring a new story. Your body has to follow a story. You, the one who keeps telling the story. So if you're the person who's constantly telling yourself, I don't like this, or I'm not good at this, and I can't do this, your body has no choice but to follow. Your mind is being rewired to the story that you keep telling it every single day. So if you're the type of person who wants to achieve the 100K a month, we're working it in reverse now, right? What did you do? How did you wake up? What story were you telling yourself? What questions were you asking? How did you conduct yourself? How did you conduct yourself to yourself? How did you look in the mirror? What did you tell yourself? How were you conducting yourself around people? What were you wearing? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Because when you know, you act. A confident salesperson, a confident real estate agent, and I'll talk about real estate agents because I work with some here, and their results have thrived. The UAE market right now, some people are struggling to the stage where they're thinking about going back home to where they were. The other side of real estate agents and other industries are absolutely thriving. Why? Same market, same everything. One is thriving, the other is struggling. You see, when you start asking yourself these questions, you start getting different results. So going back to the real estate agent, is a confident real estate agent who rests in the knowing that they're going to be able to hit a certain number of clients or deals, walking around telling themselves that they're not able, or they're worried about their clients, or overthinking about if they're actually going to be able to hit numbers? No. It's a complete different type of mindset. In order for you to get and achieve and be that type of person who has that mindset, you have to list the things that are dragging you down. You have to face all of the things, like I told you, with the fears, the beliefs, the things that you don't like about yourself, and the things that are bringing you down, and all of these different things that you keep telling yourself in the story. You have to list them and face them. Because unless you face them, unless you know more about yourself, then nothing will change. You can walk into a room and people will replicate your energy. Why? Because they will feel your energy. So if you're the type of person who's walking into a room and there's investors and you're a real estate agent, there's investors everywhere, and your energy is the type of person who isn't confident, who is worried, who is scared, doesn't really talk much, or doesn't really know how to sell confidently, you think they're going to buy from you? Or let's flip it. Now you're the person who's confident. You rest in the knowing. You act in the assumption. You walk into these rooms with investors and you know how to talk. You know how to pitch. When you shake their hand, they feel your energy. They read your energy when you walk into the room. Now, when they feel your energy before you talk. So now when you start asking this type of question, are these investors more confident with the first person or the second person? Same market, different mindset. Rest in the knowing, act in the assumption. This will change your life in ways that are completely unimaginable. The results that you will receive from these two sentences is unimaginable. You can talk about consciousness. You could talk about spirituality. You could talk about visualization. You could talk about all these things. And I love all of those things. I've delved into all of those things. I love it. It's all changed my life. But these two sentences will change your life more and get you the results that you want more than you will ever imagine. Watch this video a few times. Those who will watch this video, I promise you, leave a comment. Any question that you have, leave a comment. Watch this video a few times. Understand what I'm trying to say. Understand where I'm getting to. Because knowing and believing are two different things. Okay? You don't believe that you have parents. You know you have parents. Right? Anything that you don't know, you believe. Anything you know, you know. I'll see you in the next video.